Welcome back to the channel, everyone, for another ESO build video. I'm your boy Fuzzy. Today I'm going to be showing you my melee Magblade for the Flames of Ambition patch. But first, before I get into the build, if you like the channel or the content on here, make sure to hit that subscribe, hit the like button, and push that notification bell to get the latest content from this channel. Now let's get into it. So this build hits really hard. We got a lot of crit damage, and a lot of damage overall. We are a little squishy on this, so you do need to be careful, but mostly this is a ganking build, and it is extremely fun to play. Alright, let's hop into the character sheet. So we're sitting at 32,000 max magic almost. We have 1,800 magic recovery, 1,600 health recovery, almost 900 stamina recovery. We have 14k max stamina, which is more than enough to perma-stealth. We have 24.5k almost health. We have 3418 spell damage, which goes up to like 5.3, 5.4, depending on your keep bonuses and everything you have in Cyrodiil. We have 54.1% spell crit, which is a lot this patch. And we have 14k spell penetration, which actually goes up to 23 to 24k spell pen. And overall, we have 60% crit damage, which is really nasty and nice. Then we have 16.5k spell resistance, and we have 13k physical resistance, which goes up when we're buffed up. But really, we're still squishy on here, even with the 2600 critical resistance. So overall, this isn't like a open dueling fighting build. Like, this is more for ganking, so you are going to be a bit squishy. We do have some good resistances like when we're fully buffed up, but still you are going to be squishy. We are a Khajiit on this, and you can go Dark Elf if you'd like, but I would highly recommend going Khajiit for the crit damage. The crit damage really makes a big difference. That's what's going to push us to 60%. We have 64 points into Max Magicka. We are using the Shadow Mundus, which gives us another 11%, which also puts us to that 60% mark. We're using Clockwork Citrus Fillet. You don't have to use this. You can use Bewitched Sugar Skulls if you want, but I prefer the regen, so we can perma-stealth like continuously. And then we are Stage 2 Vampire. Stage 2 will give us a lot more damage when we come out of stealth and when we're ganking people, which also will put us up. So overall, like I said, it'll push you to about 5.4k spell damage. Now, let's go into our inventory. I'm going to go over this pretty quick. This was just thrown together too, what I've been using. So we're going to start it off by Spinner's Greatsword. On our front bar, we have a weapon damage enchantment on here, so when we hit people, we have Sharpen for the increased spell penetration, which also puts us at 24k. Then we have a Spinner's Restoration Staff, Defending. I have a magic damage enchantment on here, which also restores magicka. You can put health if you want. It's completely optional and up to you. Spinner's just gives us max magicka spell damage, and a bunch of spell penetration. Then for our monster set, I'm using Slimecraw. This one's infused with max magicka. Preferably you go Divines. You go Divines on all this, but I have Impenetrable because I prefer more survivability, and I feel that I'm doing enough damage, but you can go all Divines if you want. Then we have Reinforced chest piece of Medusa. This is going to be heavy armor, so we'll have 2 heavy, 5 light. You can go all light if you want to. I just chose to run it this way because I went for a little bit more survivability. Max Magic Enchantment on here. This is going to give us spell crit, and then more spell crit. So the extra 5th piece bonus won't actually work, so we won't get that minor force, but we do get the 5 pieces of spell crit, and that's what pushes us to 55% almost. Then we have Valken Scoria. This is going to be for more penetration. This puts us up to the 24k mark. I have a Max Magicka enchantment on here with Impenetrable. Then we have Spinner's Impenetrable Waist with Max Magicka enchant on here. Spinner's Arms Impenetrable with Max Magicka enchant on here. And then we have Medusa Pants Impenetrable with Max Magicka enchant. This is a heavy. Yeah, you can, if you don't want to run Spinner or Medusa, you can try Mother Sorrow. I've had some people tell me that it still works in here. But when I first tried it, it didn't work for me, but it might work now. I don't know. But you can try it out. I prefer, like I said, to go with Medusa. I wanted a little more survivability, and I went with Impenetrable, but you can go with all Divines. Then we have Impenetrable Spinner's Boots, Max Magicka enchant on here. Then we have Medusa Jewelry. And on here, I have spell damage with Arcane, just for a little extra Max Magicka. Then we have 2 infused, 1 spell damage, 1 Max Magicka. Now, if you want to, you can change out this, and like say you wanted more damage, you can go Balorix, which will put you at 50%, as you can see to the right of the screen. or you can use Dami House for more resources, completely up to you, but we're really going for max damage on this build, so I would say any of these sets will work. Now, before I forget, I'll go to my pots real quick. So I use Tri Restoration Potions most of the time, but certain situations I'll use Spell Power Pots so I don't have to proc Degeneration on the back bar and give myself away depending on how many opponents are around me. That's optional and up to you. You can go either way. It's personal preference, honestly. Now, let's go into our skills. So, front bar, we're running Merciless Resolve. This is going to give us our Spectral Bow after 5 light attacks. The bow goes a lot higher than that and does a lot more damage. Normally, I can proc like 12 to 15k bows on people for Magicka, which is really nice. We have Inner Light to boost our crit and to give us more max Magicka. Then we have Reaper's Mark. This is going to put our debuff on him and give us our major breach to the target, which is really nice. Also, we get a fat heal, 16k heal, if we kill the target while it's on him. Then we have Concealed Weapon. This actually goes up to like a 10 to 11k tooltip when we're fully buffed up. Hits really hard. Put this in with your light attack, so you're going to weave your light attack and this together. Works the same almost as the Stam. And then we have Lotus Fan. This is a flex spot, so you don't have to use Lotus Fan. I like it though. It puts minor vulnerability on the target, and it's a bit of a gap closer when we need it. But this isn't ability that you have to use. You could put Impale right here for an execute if you'd like, or whatever else you'd want on here. You could even put Swallow Soul for a heal if you need it. It's completely optional, up to you. Then we have Soul Harvest right here. Soul Harvest, it actually goes up to a 16k tooltip, which is not bad. And it also afflicts the enemy with Major Defile, reducing their healing receives and health recovery. And you get ultimate back while it's slotted every time you kill people and all that stuff. So then our back bar, we have Siphoning Attacks. This is pretty much just going to give you health and restores your Magicka every time you do a light attack or a heavy attack. Then we have Accelerate. This is not morphed yet, because I literally just got this skill on here. So I would put, you could go either Channel Acceleration or you could go with Race Against Time. I personally would go with Race Against Time, but at the same time, Shadow Skies keeps you out of getting CC'd a lot. So that's optional and up to you. We have Shadow Skies. It's going to be your stealth to keep you in perma-stealth. Works really well. Then we have Rapid Regeneration, and this is also going to buff your, give you your Major Resolve too. So then we have Rapid Regeneration for our heal. This actually goes up to 20k, 21k when we're fully buffed up heal, which is nice over time. It's pretty much one of our only heals, so you have to be really careful on this class. Then we have Degeneration for our Major Sorcery, and it does a little bit of a dot damage, but like I said, if you want to use spell pots, you don't have to put this on here. This could be a flex spot too, completely optional and up to you. And then we have Undo, just so that we have 10% damage mitigation on the back bar while we're on our back bar and stealthing around. Now let's go into our champion points. So first up, I switch these around and do stuff a little bit different. I'm always testing out stuff, but first off, we have 40 into Tireless Discipline. I have 40 into Precision. We have 50 into Fighting Finesse for crit damage and critical healing. We have 50 into Backstabber, which is our critical damage again, done. And these two are also going to put us up to that 60% critical damage mark. And since we got high crit, you really want those. Those are a must-have. Then we have 40 into Piercing for penetration. And then we have Deadly Aim, 50 into here for 10% damage for our direct damage attacks, which everything's direct damage. Then I have 10 into Quick Recovery, just for the heals, and 30 into Hardy, reduce the physical, poison, disease, and bleed damage, so all our martial attacks, stamina attacks. Then we have 50 into Resilience. You don't have to put these in here, you can take these out, and you can put these into Untamed Aggression for a little more damage. That's completely optional and up to you if you want a little more damage. Personally, I tested them both ways, and I liked having these. It allowed me to survive a lot easier putting them in there, so that's optional and up to you. And then I have 30 into Blessed. So the 4 that I'm using is Fighting Finesse, Deadly Aim, Backstabber, and Resilience. Those are the 4 that we're using. Now, let's go into our red tree. I got 10 more points into here, huh? Well, I'll just put them into here. Okay, so we have 45 into Tumbling, just in case I tumble. I roll dodge a lot, so you don't have to put these into here if you don't want to, but we have 10 into Mystic, just to unlock this tree over here. So we have Hero's Vigor, which is important. That's going to be our max health. We have Strategic Reserve. Gives us 30 health recovery for every 10 ultimate you have. So when we have a lot of ultimate, we have a lot of health recovery. That's why my health recovery is at 1600. I have increased movement speed while sprinting by 2%, which is hasty. 32 into there, maxed out. So this actually increases our sprint speed, even when we're stealthed. And then reduce the cost of sprint by 20%, which is sprinter. This also increases how fast we can move for while we're in stealth 2 and out of stealth. Then we have 40 in Defiance, reduce the cost of break free, just in case if you do get CC'd. You can take right here Strategic Reserve out if you want and put it into here, but I really felt like I didn't need it. So that's up to you guys. Then the other 3 that we have are Rejuvenation for health and magic and stamina recovery. Ironclad just for a little more resistances. Like I said, you can take these out here too, but I prefer not to be that squishy. And then we have Boundless Vitality for extra 1400 max health, which is really nice. Now, like I said, you can take one of these 2 out too also, and put them over into this one right here, which can give you siphoning spells, 300 magicka per, so it'll give you like 1600 magicka altogether, but that's optional and up to you. Now for our green tree really doesn't matter for these bottom tiers, so we just have 10 into Gilded Fingers, 10 into Fortune's Favor, and then 15 into Wander. That doesn't really matter. I put 50 into Breakfall and 30 into Steadfast Enchantment just for our weapon decay, so we don't have to recharge it all the time. And then for fall damage, this is sort of important, but the main ones that you want to focus on are Rationeer, increase our food by 30 minutes, which is really nice. Then we have Liquid Efficiency, which gives us a 10% chance to not consume our pots. Then Steed's Blessing, which also helps our out of movement combat speed, which is also why we're in stealth, which works really nice. And then the main one you must have is Sustaining Shadows. This is going to reduce the cost of sneak by 1% per stage by 50%, so that reduces our cost of sneak by 50%. We can perma-stealth in this class forever. It's crazy how long you can go. And then the other 2 that you must have are Out of Sight, which is also going to reduce the radius you can be detected while sneaking, which helps out a lot. And then Fleet Phantom, which reduced the movement speed penalty of sneak by 5% per stage, so this also helps by 25%. So this allows us to run really fast, and that's pretty much it for these points. So the 4 I have into here is Rationeer, Liquid Efficiency, Steed's Blessing, and Sustaining Shadows. That's about it for all this, so I'm pretty sure I covered everything. If I missed anything, just let me know in the comment section down below and I'll get to you guys. Also, if you have any questions about the build, just let me know also in the comment sections. I appreciate everyone stopping by and checking out the video, and I hope you all have a good day. Enjoy the build.